Alright, this is the final part of my setup/studio tour videos. This time I want to show you how I record videos, the problems and limitations of smaller space and how you can overcome them if you also want to or have already started your YouTube channel or streaming too. I will explain here what I use to record videos regarding the gear, but I will also tell you where I made some mistakes in the beginning and how you can avoid them, unless you already made the same mistakes as I did. Anyhow, bear with me. Looking for affordable Windows or Office keys? Look no further, I got you covered. Head over to scdkey.com, pick your Windows edition, use my discount code LE25 to get a 25% on any Windows or Office products. Once you complete your order, after a few seconds you will receive your code. In Windows, go to Settings, there should be an Activate Windows prompt at the bottom. Click that, enter your code and wait for Windows to finish activation. To check the activation status, use the command prompt with the command slmgr.vbs/xpr and you should receive a notification that the machine is permanently activated. Once again, use code LE25 at scdkey.com. So let's start from the basics. You will need gear and you will need a lot of it. You might have heard that gear does not matter, but yeah, it kinda does. Not all, but as you don't need all the stuff at once, you will need it someday. But here, let me show you what I use and how I use it and where I was wrong to begin with in the past. So I am using Nanlite lights here up on the shelf above my B-roll recording area. I got a Nanlite Forza 150 light with a lantern softbox. Basically this light illuminates the whole room evenly. Keyword and emphasize on the word evenly. This is a soft light so you don't get those harsh shadows on the thing you're trying to record or yourself. I got Nanlite Forza 60 as a side light here, but also this light is used as a key light when recording B-rolls here as it points from this angle directly on the B-roll desk. What I also got here is the MRN 100D. This light is by Aperture with a large 85cm softbox. This again softens the light, so I am getting a nice light around my face if I'm recording me or lighting any product that I am recording. The bigger the softbox, the softer the light becomes. For this purpose, I am using Light Dome SC, also from Aperture, with a grid that directs the light beam. I mean, it focuses the light beam more in the middle rather than spilling it around the room, since I am having a lantern on the Nanlite Forza 150 to do that job. Why am I nagging you and showing you these lights? Well, this is the #1 mistake that I made when I started. I thought that it was all about the camera, but turns out it's not. Main difference that separates bad looking videos from good looking videos is not the camera, it is actually the light. I know for a fact whenever someone starts a YouTube channel, first thought is, alright, I will buy those cheap Amazon softboxes, those look good enough. Wrong answer. They are absolutely the worst crap you can get and you already blew half of your budget on them, when you could have allocated that budget on a decent beginner light such as GODOX SL60W, for example, which will offer you control over the light intensity ranging from 1 to 100%, as the Amazon lights are just on or off, there is no settings. Also, this light is specifically designed for video recording, so you won't get any light flickering in your shot. Trust me, I've been there, done that, so I'm trying to save you money here. Here is how I use these lights in this confined space. I have the MRN and the big softbox positioned at a 45-degree angle pointed at my face. This is a key or the main light. Forza 60 here on the side as a fill light or the hair light, and the Forza 150 on the lantern over there that is illuminating everything else, and you can see me right now. So this is that basic 3-point light that you may have heard countless times. It works and gets the job done, and I am trying my best to use them in smaller space here. Great thing about all these lights is the fact that you can turn the fans in them completely off, which is a great thing as this noise and humming can get to your microphone and you will end up with a noisy recording too. You can now see what I was talking about in previous parts of this room tour videos. Things get pretty messy, pretty cramped and fast here. I need all these lights, I need to position the camera somewhere as well and still do my best to record videos in these conditions. You might not know this, but sometimes recording a PC build time-lapse takes 5 to 6 hours for a job that usually takes no more than 30 minutes on average. This is why I have this overhead rig here that I made. This is a basic C-clamp on which I have mounted a ball head with an Arca Swiss mounting plate. So it's just a matter of clicking the camera here and boom, I have a perfect top-down shot every time. Since I have two cameras, this makes things easier to mix angles in the editing. So back in the day when I was starting this channel with only one camera, taking shots from different angles was done with repeating shots from, well, different angles. So imagine how much time is needed to mount a CPU on my motherboard if I want to record it from the top-down shot as well as a normal shot. You get the idea now. So this brings me to the audio and the microphone part here, and actually I have two mics here that I use. One is the Rode NT5 here, you may see it from this angle. This is a pencil condenser mic which is great for talking head videos like this one, and also indoor interviews as it's good for rejecting echo and reverb of the room. By the way, quiet PC fans also help a lot. I did add this thick carpet which significantly reduced reverb in the room to a point where I no longer need to do any audio corrections in the post. So I did mention in part 2 that I use RODECASTER Pro 2 as a main audio solution for this channel, and this is how I use things to record audio here. The Rode NT5 mic is running with this blue XLR cable that I got hidden behind the desk, and it just sits on a headphone stand on the side, ready to be used whenever needed. The RCP2 or the RODECASTER Pro is in charge of all the effects and post-processing for this sound, so I am basically free of editing later in the post, and this is why I am using another microphone here. This is the Deity V3 Pro, which goes directly to my camera, and later on in editing I just sync the two audio streams and I use only the Rode NT5 version for a better audio. This is an overkill. You can perfectly get away with just using one mic directly to the camera. I do recommend Rode or Deity mics, but just make sure that you have some sort of stand or a boom pole like I have here, as the mic needs to be at least a foot away from your mouth this is the foot away from my mouth for best possible sound, because let me demonstrate what happens as you move away from it. This is the normal angle, I mean I am about a foot away from the mic. This is me literally one arm length away from it. You can already notice how bad it sounds, and this is me 2 steps back. You can immediately notice echoing, empty sound and overall bad sound. This is the mistake number 2 to avoid. Get your mic as close as possible to you. There is a saying that viewers can watch the video with bad picture quality, but audio is just simply unbearable if it's wrong. And here we are to the camera. I am not gonna influence you on which camera to get. I will just say that you need to stay away from Panasonic if you're planning to be on the camera a lot. I mean the talking head videos. They are notoriously bad with autofocus. They do have extremely razor sharp image quality, but autofocus is plain and simply lagging behind competition. Things might get better with new cameras, there are promises, but we shall see. I can recommend you Sony or Canon cameras for the peace of mind. But I shall tell you this here, you can start with a phone. Most of the phones are doing great videos nowadays, so if you are on a budget, the phone will do in the beginning, and as you progress, invest in a good camera afterwards. I did start with a Canon 200D, which is a pretty basic camera. I learned everything that camera has to offer and I quickly outgrew its capabilities. So here we are with a Sony a7C. This is basically a7 Mark III with a compact body. It's still a full frame camera with all the bells and whistles, and above all, autofocus is super reliable. I got it paired with Tamron 28-75 f2.8 lens. I got it mounted in a cage. This is not an essential gear to have, but it makes things easier as it acts as a protection for the camera, but also adds various mounting points that you can use to attach accessories like microphones, small lights, monitors, handles and such. I like to use Small Rig for all the camera accessories, and also huge thanks to them for sending some of the stuff I use here. Above the camera I got a field monitor. This is the GODOX GM55, super useful as you can immediately see how your final video image looks. You have all the necessary info like waveforms and such directly on it. Basically it helps a lot because it's hard to see everything on a little camera screen. When I do these talking head videos, I have a teleprompter, which I am reading this script from now because it's hard to keep up with everything I want to tell you guys. It's easier for me to type out the script, put my phone here and just read from the script when it's more a technical video. I do this because English is not my native language, so for me it's 2 times harder to begin with. This just makes things easier both for me and you guys watching. Alright, the next item that you are gonna need if you want to do this YouTube thing is a tripod. Now, there are a lot of tripods out there, and believe me, I made a mistake here. 2 times actually. I started with the cheap one, almost broke my camera 2 times, then I got a so-called better one, which is still not great for my standards, it's flimsy and such. Just, it looks nice, but that is until I got this bad boy here. This is the Manfrotto 055 tripod. This is a tank, literally, and in real life as well. Super sturdy, can withstand beating, does not tip over, not even with a hefty amount of gear attached to it. Plus it comes with an amazing fluid head that allows you to have smooth pan and tilt shots. It is not cheap, but consider this as an investment that will outlast several cameras before there is even a need for you to replace it. So that is it. This is how I record videos. I sit in front of these lights here and talk to you guys, and let me give you a little advice no one gave me when I started. It is hard, I am not going to lie to you. The first time I sat in front of the camera, I was frozen for 45 minutes straight. It's like when a deer sees car headlights, it's like this. Over time it became less stressful to a point where I just sit here now and do the job, not thinking too much of the mistakes, and if I make them, and trust me, I do, you will too, just repeat what you wanted to say and cut that part in the editing. You can always cover it up with a little B-roll part. Also, if English is not your native language, this is going to be even harder, but just practice, sit in front of the camera and read something, practice until you are confident enough to go out in public. Just start, that is all, do not wait. I waited for a long time, probably because I wanted to perfect some video editing skills first, but even after that I am still learning new stuff. It's all about learning as you go. Advice numero 3. Invest in a good microphone. This will serve you years to come. It's not something you will outgrow quickly. Your audience... See, I made a mistake. Your audience will thank you. Oh, and don't worry about that weird feeling when listening to your own voice when you edit videos. I know that it's super weird hearing yourself talking on a camera. You will get this. I mean, you will get past this in no time. Advice number 4. Be creative and don't be shy to experiment with different shots and styles. You might find out that you are really good at something you thought you are not. And as always, practice. Mistake again. And as always, practice, practice, practice. Regarding my small studio, you now get the idea in which space I record these videos that you're watching. I do need a bigger space, already mentioned that in part 2, and I got plans to do an attic renovation and convert it completely into a much bigger studio, where I would be... Battery died. So, my battery just died in the camera, so there's that. Remember to charge your batteries. Where I would be hanging all the lights on the wall or ceiling, so I don't have to deal with light stands and constantly moving them out of the way. And I want to have a permanent place where I would do the talking head videos with a desk in front of me. I don't know, seems easier to show you some products that way. Also, I want to have a dedicated top-down area as well, and a completely separated area for the whole PC setup and the PC building assembly area. Hopefully I can make this dream of mine into a reality, and of course you will be the first to know when I do that. Huge thanks for watching all these room tour parts, guys. If you enjoy my content, give me a sub, leave a like, and if there is anything that you like in these videos and I haven't put a link in the description, feel free to ask in the comments. I am here to help. See you in the next one.